watching Midwest Independent Conference Gymnastics on ESPN+. Tonight, 3 teams competing in Normal, Illinois as they compete in the heart of the gymnastics season. We welcome you into CEFCU Arena. I'm Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto. It's the Western Michigan Broncos, the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves, and the Illinois State Redbirds.
Yes, and for Western Michigan, just to start things off, I think we should really be looking at Sarah Morvinsky. In their last meet, she led them to a defeat over Ball State University, and she earned a career high performance on vault with a score of a 9.9. On top of that, she's an all-arounder as a senior, which is really difficult and rare to do. So I'm really excited to see how she brings her experience out on the floor tonight.
In addition to that strong performance that led to a win over Ball State on Saturday, they also beat ISU in a previous appearance earlier this year in which they both played in a meet, and they will be facing off again. So we'll get to see that matchup as well as Alaska Anchorage. They've got another star player as well.
Alaska Anchorage's star player is a freshman, Claudia Lessing. We just talked about that experience and how it's necessary, but she shows that maybe it's not that necessary to end up on top. She led the Seawolves to a win last weekend in a quad meet and scored a career high of a 9.725 on floor. She did great with that score, but I'm really curious to see how that plays out tonight because we've got some big competition out here tonight at CEFCU Arena.
And speaking of being on top, Angelica Labat has won the all-around in each of her past 4 meets. Kaylee, what more do you have on her?
I feel like we keep highlighting her, Braden, but she has yet another achievement to add under her belt. Angelica Labat is nominated for a prestigious award that honors the most outstanding collegiate gymnast. There are only 50 other gymnasts that are nominated for this right now, and Angelica Labat is by far one of the best gymnasts that we have in the conference today. And there's no doubt in my mind she'll show us what that looks like tonight.
And they'll all be facing off here shortly, and they'll all be playing in this year's version of Play for K, opportunity to spread some breast cancer awareness and to raise funds in college sports for that important cause. We'll be playing for that and more here shortly on ESPN Arena, getting some pre-match ceremonies and all of the ISU Redbirds being accompanied by some academic advisors here, and of course they're getting recognized for that as well as the ceremony. We're having a banner unveiling here shortly, but the fans definitely here excited to see that. With the banner unveiling their 3rd conference championship since joining the MIC, and Illinois State has another opportunity to do that here this season, and that actually is a good transition because as we go to the anthem, All right, so Kaylee, pregame festivities wrapping up. It's now time to get everyone warmed up, but let's warm the broadcast up with a review of all of the coaches that we'll be seeing, and let's first talk about the coach of these Western Michigan Broncos.
Yeah, so for Western Michigan, we have Penny Jernigan, the 10th season as head coach for the Western Michigan Broncos. She was the 2020 Mid-American Conference Coach of the Year and led 10 Western Michigan athletes to 20 NCAA regional championships.
And next would be Marie-Sophie Bagasic, who is the coach of the Alaska Anchorage team.
Yeah, so Marie-Sophie was actually a UAA gymnast herself. She competed on vault, bars, and floor and got a bachelor's in aviation technology, and now she flies on the off-season. Her third season as head coach here.
Exactly, and one more coach to go to. It's one that we know more than anyone else here. That's Bob Conklin.
And of course, Bob Conklin, this is his 19th season as a head coach. Secured over 100 wins within his coaching career. Coached the Redbirds to a first-place finish at the MIC Championships, as we saw. And when asked what his dream job would be, he said it would be coaching ISU gymnastics.
And he's been doing that for coming on 20 years next season. So with that, Kaylee, it's going to be a tough competition. We talked two competitions here for ISU. They won both of their meets, but this Western Michigan squad nationally ranked a little bit better. The Broncos ranked 34th in the nation. Illinois State ranked 38th. That was a change. Both of them dropped a little bit since their previous week. Everyone just did very well up top, but very tough opponent for these Redbirds, and could be the first loss of the season here at CEFCU if they're not careful.
Yeah, Western Michigan is actually undefeated right now in their season, in their conference, which is the MAC conference, and they barely scraped by Ball State, which was also undefeatable within the conference at the time. They beat them 196.0525 to 195.95. So barely scraping by there on that win, but both teams are coming in hot. Alaska Anchorage is also coming in off a win of a quad meet, so they came up on top over 3 other teams. So all these teams are coming off a win, coming into the meet with that mindset. So I'm really excited to see just some good gymnastics tonight.
Exactly, and Western Michigan particularly 23rd in the nation in vault, 22nd in floor. So those are going to be their 2 most important ones. And sometimes it's more important to correct your mistakes on the ones you aren't as strong on. But we can definitely expect Western Michigan to do well in those 2 categories. So let's take one look at the bars lineup for these Broncos. They got Danny Petrusik leading it off, and then Donna Catherine Roy. 3rd is Abby Singh. 4th, Peyton Murphy. 5th is Sarah Morinovsky, and then it's McKenna King to round it out. Illinois State's going to be on vault to start things out. Those birds. First off, it's Maya Robinson on vault, and then it's Joy Ziegenfelder. 3rd is Maya O. 4th, Alana Laster. 5th, Jay Mack, and then it's Angelica Labatt. And it's beam for Alaska Anchorage, and the Seawolves are starting out with Montana Fairbairn. Then it's Claudia Lessig, Brianne Spain, Ariana D'Souza, Jada Niles, and Jessica Johnson. And so with that, we've got our first set of positions for each team. Kaylee, we talked a little bit about the top 2 teams. Is there anything more about the Seawolves that we know? They might be a little bit of an underdog heading into this one.
I think so too. I mean, their last meet, they won in a quad meet over Talladega, Centenary, and Greenville with a 191.875. So that was their victory. But as we're going off the last meets from the other 2 teams, ISU was in the 195 range. Western Michigan was in the 196 range. So that is a good 4 or 5 points there. in between the win of the final scores.
And focusing on the rest of their season, they already have 7 dual victories on the year. It makes them 2 away from tying the records that the 1986 and 2005 teams both set. So that's something they'll be keeping an eye on as they close out their year.
And the thing that I'm really excited to see with the Seawolves today is that they're a very senior-heavy team. So they really are relying a lot on that experience, but then they also have this freshman that we mentioned before, Claudia Lessing, coming in with no experience whatsoever in collegiate gymnastics thus far, and totally killing it at their last meet. So,
starting what could be a youth movement here in the near future for Alaska Anchorage, but still a very veteran-led team today. And Illinois State going to be on vaults. Vault is kind of a piece of cake to them, and it's not really that easy, we know that, but they always make it look so easy to do. And Western Michigan, of course, also phenomenal on vault, but Illinois State likes to start there. They like to be able to get themselves off to a hot start.
ISU has a few of 10.0 starting vaults here, so that's what really kind of puts them over the edge of, gives them that competitive edge over other teams. Angelica Labat, the last meet that ISU had against SEMO and Fisk, she won vault with a career high of a 9.95. So they can vault, and they can do it very, very well as we head into Western Michigan now on bars. Kip cast handstand. Beautiful Tkachev there. She kips into a toe hand, into an overshoot, hits that handstand. Minimal leg separation there. It's Danny Petrosek up for Western Michigan. Giant full, goes into a double pike dismount, and lands locked leg there, has to take that fall. Looked like a little bit of a fluke, I'm not going to lie. It looked like she had it and she just forgot to bend her legs. That mind-body connection kind of stopped working there. So that's definitely not the start that you want, but they're gonna hope to not count that. As we head to vault, Maya Robinson. Beautiful Yurchenko full, takes a big step back. It looks like she had a little bit of jitters there. Maya Robinson is a solid gymnast to throw in there on vault lineup. She proved that earlier in the season when they changed the lineups twice, and then she had to go in vault last minute with only 30 seconds of warm up. So it's a little uncharacteristic of her to have a little jitter there, but also looked like she had just so much power going into that. So we head into beam now for Anchorage. Montana Fairbairn up. Beautiful mount up there. She's a junior. Switch half straddle jump, beat jump, no wobbles there. Takes that step back confidently. Her sophomore year, she scored above a 9.525, 9 out of 10 routines that she competed on this event. She really shines on vault and floor. So it's really cool to see her on beam as well, where those qualities aren't usually the same. She goes into a back handspring, side aerial, very unique series. Usually those types of series, backwards, forwards, is so hard to connect, especially in high pressure situations. You do it twice in practice and think you could compete it. And then when the meet comes, sometimes not really, but great dismount there. Front full off the beam, has to take a small step forward, but what a great start there for the Seawolves. Yeah, and you mentioned it, a little bit of a unique routine. Looked like she was headed for a dismount at one point, then she moved back, did one more move, and then went for it. Now we got it on vault. Joy Zeigenfelder up there for Illinois State, and it just looks like these Redbirds have too much power coming out of their vaults. Had to take that big step back, heading into bars here for Western Michigan. We have Donna Catherine Roy up. Hits that overshoot nicely, hits that kip cast hand almost perfectly. Those legs are just glued together. Double layout, shows beautiful form in the air. Beautiful height on that. Her teammates look like they couldn't be happier. What a routine, what a start. Well, I mean, technically, they did have to start with the fall, But it looks like they're really determined to not count that.
And let's take one more look at that dismount.
Look at that. A little bit of leg separation in the air right after I said she didn't have any.
See, when you slow it down, it's a lot easier to do it. But thankfully for her, the judges don't have it in slow-mo. So
I'll just say we would always joke about that because they would show it in slow motion.
Yeah.
And we would catch about 10 more deductions. We'd say, oh, thank goodness they don't have that opportunity to look at that. And Claudia Lessing up on beam now for the Seawolves. We're heading to vault here. For Illinois State, we have Mia O, a Yurchenko full. Again, taking, I don't know if there's an extra spring in this mat. It looks like every Redbird is taking an extra hop back that they don't need to. But still, these are very clean Yurchenko fulls we're seeing tonight.
Take one more look at that.
See, she takes a hop back and then a step, which was, I feel, a little bit unnecessary.
Would the hop back have been a deduction on its own?
Yes, and then the step back is an extra deduction on top of that.
And now we're back on the beam.
The freshman, Claudia Lessing, up on beam right now for the Seawolves. Front aerial, back layout, step out. Again, one of those front back series that is so hard to connect. You saw she actually didn't go for it the first time because she would have lost that connection. Switch leap back tuck, no problem there. Spots the beam perfectly. A freshman from Spring, Texas. At the Seawolves last meet, she won bars with a score of a 9.725. Getting her mind back into the swing of things. Going into that second series after missing the first connection is so impressive. She goes into a front full dismount there, sticks the landing. So we see Alana Laster up on vault now for the Redbirds with that 10-0 start value, Yurchenko 1.5.
Oh, finishing with a 9.625 on hers.
And I'm not surprised by Alana Laster's performance in the slightest. She hits that ball every single time.
Let's take one more look at that dismount on vault.
Look at that block off of the table. That air awareness too. She hits the floor and knows exactly where she is. At ISU's last meet against Iowa State, she scored a 9.8. So let's see if she can beat that tonight. And honestly, I think she can.
And let's take a look at the beam on replay here.
See that front full dismount with the stick. A little bit of a wobble there, and it looks like she actually didn't get all the way around. Hopefully the judges didn't see that from the angle they were at. As we head over to bars here for Western Michigan. We have a unique release move there.
And
a delta
Jade
jab.
Mack also finishing on vault. She had a phenomenal stick on her landing.
Peyton Murphy up on bars now. Giant full toe hands into a front half. A unique dismount, a unique release, using the same body movements, going front and then back. Done very cleanly as well. Let's take a look at that dismount again. To be able to go into so many body positions in such a short amount of time. Very, very impressive.
Her coaching staff loving it.
So we head into beam now for the Seawolves. Brianne Spain up. The sophomore from Hawaii. Handspring layout into a little beat jump there. She competed on beam and floor twice her freshman year.
Another vault performance for the Redbirds.
Angelica Labat on the vault there, just takes a slight step forward. Clean Yurchenko 1.5. The usual Angelica Labat, just hitting it and doing her job and doing it well.
Be a final pass here.
Spain's highest score on this event, the 9.275. So it looks like she has a chance to redeem herself here. She goes into her dismount of a handstand into a gainer full. Beautifully done. And that's definitely going to be her new high score. And boy, do they look happy about that.
They're looking very strong on beam so far, Kaylee.
I know, and it is so difficult to start on beam as well at a competition. We're going to show that dismount one more time. Swing through gainer full. Again, Braden, like I said, starting on beam, usually you would want to start an event to get all those jitters out, and beam is not forgiving to let those jitters out. So the fact that they're killing it this much right now just shows how strong they are mentally tonight. As we head into vault, Caitlin Donovan, Yurchenko full. Again, I think she did the hop and the step back. I did see a little bit of leg bend going into the vault there, but still, huge block there, huge air.
I've not seen it as frequently as we are seeing that tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's a little bit of nerves and a little bit of excitement, and I think sometimes it shows you can have too much energy.
We'll see if it rubs off on the other teams when they head to vault. For now, we're back on beams, perhaps.
Beam for the Seawolves, we have, looks like we have Ariana D'Souza up.
Labat with a 9.8 on her pass on vault.
McKenna King up on bars for Western Michigan now, the anchor. And now we have the split screen. As we have King up on bars, she's gonna mount now. Kip cast handstand. Blind, huge Jaeger has to fall. As we see Jayshell Hurd from Yurchenko full on vault.
Hurd, I believe that would make Hurd an exhibition there for that one.
Definitely,
Illinois
yeah.
State had already finished their run in terms of official performances.
And it looked like I've seen Jayshell get a little bit of a higher block off that vault. She did look a little under-rotated there. So maybe this is just her getting back into the swing of things in practice. But unfortunately for these Western Michigan Broncos, they're going to have to count a fall. But look how clean McKenna King's bars are. She was definitely one I was watching during warm-ups, and I couldn't keep my eye off her gymnastics because of that double layout. Look at that. Huge air there. Some gymnasts will change body shape within the air and arch in the middle of it to whip their legs around to get some momentum, but she does not need to, as her shoulder strength really shines there in that release. But unfortunately, has to count that fall. It's a little bit too far away on that Jaeger.
So the Redbirds are ready to move on to their next position, and Western Michigan has another performer ready. It's going to be an exhibition coming.
It looks like the Anchorage Seawolves are done as well.
So a lot of Seawolves still left to go.
And this is honestly a little bit of a scary exhibition because nothing is happening in the arena right now. So the only thing that people are watching is you.
Yes.
So although your score doesn't technically count, you have all that attention on you. And that in itself could be just as nerve-wracking, if not more.
Both teams traveled well as well, so there's definitely a lot of people, cheering you on.
Yeah, and speaking of the crowd, this arena is pretty full right now.
This is as full as it has been this year.
That's what I was thinking. I think this is actually the most attendance that I've seen so far, which is really cool. And I think a part of it is because, I was gonna say I think a part of it is because Michigan is a little bit closer to Illinois than the Midwest, but Alaska is way out there. So I can't even make the argument that, oh, they're close in proximity. No, people just want to go and support gymnastics, which is so amazing to see.
Not to mention, this is also more well attended than the quad meet at the very beginning of the year, but I think this is just kind of a, you know, might just be a better part of the schedule for people to show up. The quad meet was, I believe it was during break as well for a lot of schools, so.
It was definitely during break for us, I remember that. Yeah, I think this is the best time for a meet. It was nice out today. It's not too much of a hassle getting here. It's a Friday night.
A beautiful night here in Normal as well. Got very warm.
So we head here now for the exhibition for the Broncos. Gonna do an under the bar mount. Kip cast hand, hits that hand. Tkachev finds the bar easily. A little bit of a flexed foot there. Blind half into an overshoot, beautifully done. Hits that handstand. Released at the right time. Kip cast hand misses that a little bit. She's gonna giant full into a double back. Takes a slight step back there. What a great exhibition for the Broncos there.
And now we have a performer on beam for Alaska.
Looks like they have, this might be their final exhibition here. Nice jump series, well done. I will say, I do like the Leo choices in both of the teams. The slight hint of the pink. Western Michigan has their pink bows. Anchorage has their pink design in the front. Unfortunately, has to take that fall on that split quarter. It looked like her chest was a little too far forward. There was no chance of a 180 there, unfortunately. But sometimes those jumps will make you lose that mind-body connection, especially in a meet when there are so many different factors affecting your mind there. She's preparing to go into her dismount here. Into a front tuck full, sticks the landing, finds her feet. Definitely not happy about that fall though. But hey, that's what an exhibition is for. All about getting that experience.
Let's take another look at that dismount.
She had to squat a little bit, but she definitely knew where her feet were. Her chest was a little down.
Kaylee, if you jump a little bit higher, does that kind of avoid that? Is there a way to kind of improve that?
Definitely. It's all about leg strength and that leg conditioning before, though. That's what goes into how high you can jump. That was always my struggle on beam. I would never get enough height on my dismounts. And it's all about the strength training that goes into it.
And so let's take a look at what we saw so far through our first rotation, Kaylee.
As we unveil the
well, we started out with the ceremony, and after that, we got into some gymnastics.
Yeah, of course, Western Michigan's double layout there to start things off. Despite their fall, the gainer full stick for the Anchorage Sea Wolves.
Back here at Steph Q Arena, Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto. Let's take a look at a recap of how the last matches went here. So for Western Michigan, they beat Ball State, as we talked about in pregame. It was not by much, but definitely coming off a big win there and a very strong performance against a good team. And we had an Alaska Anchorage exhibition going on. So let's take a look at how that one finished while we were under break.
Nice gainer pike dismount there. A little random. I do like the hint of the green knee brace because that is part of their colors. So yeah. I thought that was fun. It kind of matched their Leo, kind of matched their theme a little bit there. But what a great dismount there. And of course she gets to wear, it seems like increasingly more college teams are having a little thing that the gymnasts wear when they stick their dismount. We know ISU has a stick crown. I haven't seen anything yet from Western Michigan, but hopefully we get to see it later this meet. Looks like Anchorage has these little sunglasses. I think that's fun. I think I've seen a lot of stick crowns. I do like the sunglasses. It's a nice little change of pace.
Yeah, you got to be unique a little bit. You know, if everyone's doing a stick crown, you got to find something different.
Maybe a stick sash will come in the future.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there's like homecoming queen.
Exactly. Yes. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully that will come in the future. We'll see when everyone gets tired of the crowns.
So Alaska Anchorage has quite a few exhibitions, and of course, with all of the planning just kind of not going according to plan, you have a lot of time in which all the other teams are done and waiting for the exhibitions here for the Seawolves. So we've got that we're holding on for.
And it seems like the judges have actually, on beam, have been having a lot of scoring disagreements, a lot of scoring comparisons, and that's slowing down the process.
Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like I've never seen that before in terms of, you know, the two judges kind of disputing this often, but we'll see if that becomes a pattern throughout the night.
And I want to say, I think a part of it is because of all of the frontwards, backwards series that we're seeing on beam from Anchorage, because sometimes that connection between the front skill and the back skill can be so vague. It's debated, was that connected if she wobbled a little bit but kept her foot up? Was that debated if she put her foot down and had a slow transition bend into the next skill?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of debate there, especially when, and thank goodness they don't have access to a replay machine to figure it out.
Yeah, and your judges for being Kimberly Dyer and Jeanne Heisel, both of them are nationally rated.
So we head into maybe this final exhibition for Anchorage. I'm not quite sure how many more they have left. And this is honestly, I think we've talked about this before, but this is every gymnast's worst nightmare. It's just waiting and your body getting cold. At this point, you just kind of want to get it over with.
And here we go, an interesting start.
And that was such a pretty mount there to start things off. She goes into her dance and her next skill here. We have ISU and Western Michigan waiting near the bars. She's going to do a front toss, back handspring. A beautifully done frontwards, backwards series. I would be surprised if they debated that. I did not see any disconnect or wobble there in between that. Beautiful full turn. Looks like she's just taking this routine slow, taking it solid, letting her mind stay in the moment, taking it skill by skill. Switch leap half, split jump, no wobble there. This is definitely, I don't want to jinx myself and give myself the broadcaster jinx, but looks like an exhibition routine that will get her coaches thinking of putting her in lineup next week. She dances a little bit more. Looks like she's going to get prepared for her dismount here. Does a little Seawolves reference. And she does a cat leap into a gainer back full, sticks the landing. Braden, I don't know if I saw a wobble in there at all.
You know, even if the dismount was rough, that would have been the only thing to really work on there, but a phenomenal run from start to finish. Let's take a look at how that one finished up. About as well as it started, Kaylee.
That gainer full, it looks like her chest is actually a little bit too far down there, and it looked like she kind of compensated that to get that stick, but nevertheless, she gets to wear the stick glasses.
Definitely not much to work on here. Gotta be feeling good about herself.
I really hope to see her in lineup the next time they compete, because that routine definitely deserved a spot.
And a unique routine too. Not, you know, some people don't like to change it up. You know, you see a lot of the same moves. A very unique routine, in my opinion.
Especially in the NCAA, you just see patterns and patterns. That's why they had to raise the vault score. They had to raise they had to lower the vault score of a Yurchenko vault to a 995 and raise the 10-0 start value to Yurchenko 1.5 because they were just seeing too many great and phenomenal and clean Yurchenko vaults. So in a world where you see so many back handspring layouts and switch loop combinations, it's cool to see some unique mounts and some cool series to switch it up a little bit, bring the artistry back to gymnastics.
Looks like we'll have another exhibition here. And might be using the same spring to start, but we'll see.
Another springboard mount. Looks like she's going backwards. Same thing, just going back blindly.
Wow.
What a pretty mount. Definitely a mount you don't see too much in college gymnastics anymore. Has to flip completely backwards, find herself midair and catch the beam. She goes into her first skill here, dances her way to it. Cat leap, front aerial, back handspring, has to take that wobble. Looks like a connection was there though. Frontwards, backwards. Beautiful flexibility shown on that kick there. It seemed like she was a little bit off on that front skill, overcompensated a little bit and just kept going, resulting in that wobble. Great leap series, great jump series there though, however. And she definitely has everyone watching her, not only the crowd, but all the gymnasts and the coaches and the judges. So she quite literally has every pair of eyes on her right now. No pressure though. She goes into her dismount. Gainer full, has to take a step forward, wonky landing, locks out those legs. And you could kind of see it on her face. She didn't really know what was going on there. But she survived the routine. It was great, it was solid, she stayed on, and that's all you can ask for an exhibition. Exactly.
Take one more look at it.
Oh, I'm not sure if I want to with the locked leg dismount. Oh,
Ooh.
That can't be fun on the knees, and you see she already has her shin splint guards on. I don't think that really helped it all too much. And it looks like we have another exhibition here for Anchorage. I thought the last girl had a lot of pressure on her. This one has even more.
Yeah, Kaylee, for everyone that's waiting too, how are they going to keep themselves ready to go for the next event? I see there's plenty of Western Michigan players with slides on and just kind of vibing, but definitely gotta keep yourself in that game time mode, Kaylee.
And on top of that, just as well as mentally keeping yourself in, we see a couple of gymnasts right now stretching on the vault runway. You physically can't let your body get cold. And sometimes in between events when it was long like this or something unexpected would happen, a lot of us, I would put my sweats on to keep my body literally warm.
Yeah.
Because when your muscles get cold, it's harder to warm them back up, and you don't want to do that warm up while you're competing.
Same as any other sport too, you see that all the time in all these sports, especially when it gets cold out. But in an indoor, meet, it's more just keeping yourself warm, not from the elements, but just from, as you said, kind of losing all of the progress you made during warm-ups. So still holding on.
Looks like ISU is at the chalk bowl right now. I see Junior J-Mac dancing to stay warm. Also kind of just getting those jitters out. And it doesn't help also that the judges are consulting with each other once again. So on top of having so many exhibitions, which is completely fine, it is completely normal to want to get as many gymnasts, as much experience as possible. The judges are also talking about a score, about a dispute, which is kind of prolonging the process of the first rotation as well, when everyone has been done for kind of a while here. And again, as the last gymnast as being the last exhibition in your last rotation, There is no way that her body is still warm right now. It's just going to be completely mental, and she's just going to have to rely on muscle memory and what she's done in the gym to be able to put this together.
Yeah. So while we got time, let's take a look at Illinois State's last one. There we go, with Illinois State's last match. Southeast Missouri, it was the second time they faced Southeast Missouri, and this time they were on the road. They were able to win as well in the tri-meet.
195-975. Great score there for ISU. Winning over SEMO and Fisk.
Back to the exhibition on the beam.
And as we're looking at these scores here, we see Anchorage is just barely trailing behind Western Michigan. Anchorage with a 47.825, Broncos with a 48.075. And I'm just going to say I am very impressed with the start that the Seawolves have put up on beam today. They have been nothing but solid and nothing but what they've done in practice. And they didn't seem to let the jitters and the nerves or the thought of starting on beam get to their heads at all, which is really, really impressive.
So with the leaderboard so far through one, Alana Laster scored the best for Illinois State on vault. On bars, Peyton Murphy scored the best for Western Michigan, and Jessica Johnson on beam for Alaska, she had the best performance.
And I think what's so special about the Seawolves team is that they know they're coming in as the underdogs. Although they won their last quad meet, they're still coming in with the lowest team score. So they're really just giving it their all right now. And finally, we have this exhibition starting. Great full turn there. I'm not going to lie, the situation that she's in, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy right now. She goes into a back handspring, swings through, side aerial. Again, with those backwards, frontwards series connections. She had a little wobble in between there. And like I said, that might be what's causing all the judge disputes and the confusion, because it's just so hard to understand if it was connected or not without seeing it in replay. Has to kind of whip that split three-quarter around after the split jump there, or excuse me, the switch leap there. She dances into her next element. A little Seawolf, a nod to the Seawolves there. Cat leap into a gainer full, stakes the landing. Her chest was a little far down, legs a little far apart, but again, nevertheless, she will be wearing the stick glasses.
Well, her previous teammate that got the glasses has taken them off already, so.
They were ready. We're gonna see that gainer dismount again. Looks like she bends her leg there a little bit on the swing, but it comes straight while she twists. So not a lot of deductions there, but especially for the situation that she was in where her body already got cold and she was the last exhibition, that was just a great performance overall.
Yeah, and despite all that going on, it seems like the theme for all the exhibitions is the most important thing for them to work on is a dismount. Most of the rest of their performances were pretty clean. And so we'll be right back with the second set. Back here at CEFCU Arena, Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto. The Broncos playing West Virginia in the quad meet coming up next, and then Kent State after that on March 10th. Then Central Michigan, 3 meets from now, so 3 straight weekends of performances for Western Michigan. And so let's take a look at what we saw in the first rotation. It's been a while, but Kaylee, what did we see?
Yeah, so We're seeing Anchorage's series there, the backwards frontward series that they were doing so well at getting the connections of. Mia O's powerful Yurchenko full with the hop and the step back, unfortunately. Double layout there from the Broncos starter up there. And then, of course, Alana Lasters, Yurchenko 1.5, slide out forward. And then to round things out, the beautiful double layout that I was talking about to end that Western Michigan lineup. Great leap series there, jump series. We head into the exhibition here for the Broncos. Kim cast hand into that dismount, and then the mount for the Seawolves.
So through one rotation, Kaylee, we'll be moving on. I mean, Illinois State going to be on bars. It's going to be beam for Western Michigan, and it's going to be floor for Alaska Anchorage here next from CEFCU Arena.
And I'm really excited. We've talked about this before, but the Seawolves starting out as the underdogs, going in and hitting their beam routine. See what they do in their next rotation here on floor. I'm excited to see it.
Exactly. It's still a lot of warming up to do as well. But while we're waiting, we do have some lineups to take a look at here for Western Michigan. The Broncos start out with Hannah Milton, then it's Abby Singh, Peyton Murphy, Cassie St. Clair, Sarah Moranowski, and McKenna King. Now we got Birds on the bars. Carly Hawksworth leading it off, then it's Madison Kipp. Reese Gralla, who won Performance of the Week last week with her performance on bars. Julia Heiner is fourth, then Sarah Wabi. And lastly, it's Angelica Labatt. And it's floor now for those Seawolves. Haley Perkins starting it out, then Claudia Lasig, Maddie Murphy, Silge Hildebrand, Ariana D'Souza, and Montana Fairbairn on floor for the green and yellow. And so here shortly we'll be starting our rotation. It's going to be interesting to see whether the Redbirds and Broncos are still ready to go after the long pause, but Alaska Anchorage get a lot of opportunities to get some of their new players and some of their players that are almost ready to get into the lineup an opportunity to get some work in on the beam, and after that they'll be on floor as well.
I'm curious to see if the judges do continue judging for a while on beam as well, or if it really was that front series, back series connection that was kind of causing a little bit of confusion there. As we're seeing Western Michigan in their huddle there on beam.
Looks like just everyone that's going to be performing here for this event. Everyone else off to the side. Western Michigan trails just a little bit. It's not going to really be comparable until we get through this rotation, part of the rotation here, and get halfway through. But so far, Illinois State off to a little bit of a better start.
And that's not even the best that Illinois State can do on vault. They have had a lot of step backs, a lot of hop backs, and big hop backs on vault today. Learning how to control that power is almost as hard as having it and training for it. We head to floor now for the Seawolves. Looks like we have Haley Perkins up right now for Anchorage. And now we have the split screen here. We have Carly Hawksworth for ISU on bars, leading them off. The great release to her overshoot. Great first pass there from Haley on floor. Carly's gonna giant double layout into her dismount and take a small hop forward. Looked like she had that stick from my angle, but she looked extremely happy with that. Haley Perkins over rotates that 1.5, but is able to find her feet on that front layout. makes that jump all the way around. She goes into her next pass here with a little bit of a fun early 2000s mashup floor routine. The choreography is giving off that vibe too. It's all coming together. She goes into her last pass here. Round off whip 1.5. I love all these unique moves that the Seawolves are putting out. Again, you don't see whips all too often in college gymnastics anymore either. The junior from Brampton, Ontario. High score is a 9.678 on this event. She might beat it today based on that routine. As we head over to beam. For the Western Michigan Broncos, we have Hannah Milton up. Has to take that slight step back on that tuck full there. She's looking to redeem herself after the bar rotation. She goes into a front layout full. Very, very clean on that. Chest directly straight up on that landing. Great air awareness there. We're heading to bars now.
Bars, it's Madison Kipp.
Madison Kipp has great lines on bars and beam, as you see there. In that Jaeger, Kipp casts into that overshoot, hits that handstand. Looked like she was still kind of twisting there when she grabbed the bar, however. Kipp cast handstand, hits that, no problem. Giant full. Misses it a little bit, bends her legs in the tap, goes in that double tuck though, stakes it perfectly. Looks like she is not fazed by those little mistakes at all. That's all ISU needs right now. They just need to hit, 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 and they're doing just that.
And so moving to a replay of the beat performance, or sorry, rather it's the bars first.
Saw that air awareness there, that smile at the end. And look at this landing. Her body line is just completely straight, which is so hard to do on a front flipping dismount. Getting that rotation all the way around on a beam that's only 4 feet up, but somehow making that just shows how much leg power and how much training went into that. It looks like for floor now, for the Seawolves, we have the freshman Claudia Lessing up. She prepares there. The freshman from Spring, Texas, who has just been a powerhouse.
Lessing had a pretty good performance on her first rotation as well. Here she is with her first pass. And a good start.
We had a great first pass there from Claudia.
See, I'm learning from you, Kaylee. I can tell what a good pass is so far. By now, at least.
She's going into her round off back handspring double pipe as a second pass too. The power that she has to have. At the same time right now, we also do have Sarah Wabi up on bars, going into that double tuck. Excuse me, that was Reese Rala. Going back on the floor here. She goes into her last pass. Round off back handspring, double back to end things out there. Still has all the power to end with that. Gives her that bonus. What a fun routine there for the freshman. And she's just killing it so far this season, looking like she's just going out there and having as much fun as she can.
And back here to beam. Got another Bronco going.
We have Abby Singh up on beam right now. The junior from Sarasota, Florida, goes into a side aerial round-off series. I don't think I've ever seen that been done in college gymnastics so far. Very well done, though. That side aerial connection can sometimes be very, very difficult, especially in competition. She's going to cat leap, switch side, takes that wobble there, but doesn't let her fall. Her sophomore year, she competed in 11 meets, mostly on vault and bars. So beam seems to be a little bit new for her this year. Her freshman year, she only competed on vault. So this is really her year to show off her beam skills there, and she does just that with that gainer full dismount stuck. As we watch that dismount one more time. See her take that swing back, twist into that gainer, and stick that with no problem whatsoever. Great job there for Abby Singh for Western Michigan as they make a comeback after they had to counterfall on bars.
And so here comes Julia Heiner ready to go on bars. And she got some recognition already here this week, Kaylee.
Yeah, Julia is the current Coach's Choice of the Week award holder. It's an award that coaches give to someone who has been working extra hard this week, someone who stepped up when they needed to. So she gets to do this varsity with that honor. Look at that huge release there, that toe hand. I don't think I've ever seen her do it with that much power and that height. Look at the Seawolves are on the floor. Great opening pass there. Julia's gonna go into a double layout. Small hop forward. But wow, and that is the reason why she has the current Coach's Choice of the Week award, because she pulls through in moments like these. To look at the Seawolves on the floor now. We have Rian Spain up. The sophomore, or excuse me, that is not Rian Spain, that is Ariana D'Souza. That's another thing about college gymnastics. Lineups can switch in seconds before. Looks like she was a little close to that edge there. Looking at Western Michigan on beam with a beautiful triple series. And I really thought she was gonna fall there, but she did not give that up. It's Peyton Murphy up. Or excuse me, that is not Peyton Murphy. That is Peyton Murphy. Getting my lineups all mixed up there. Great jump series, finds the beam. Those sideways landings can be pretty difficult at times as well. And a gainer pike dismount, bends into that landing. Great routine there, except for that unfortunate wobble that had to take place on the triple series.
So let's take another look at that.
So we're looking on floor now for the Seawolves. Round off, half twist, front full, a little close to getting out of bounds there.
And Sarah Wabi on bars right now.
Showing that last replay there of the dismount of the gainer pike, sticks it perfectly. Now we get to see Sarah Wabi's dismount of a giant full double back. And of course she sticks it perfectly. She did a great release too. She has a beautiful piked Jaeger, and she really just gets to show her shoulder strength on that as she works the bar.
Let's take another look at that dismount for Wabi.
Giant bull, double back there. Finds the landing. And she knew she had that in the bag. We head over back to Western Michigan on beam here.
On floor, it's going to be Montana Fairbairn rounding it out in terms of the official performances.
Cassie St. Clair up for the Broncos right now. Front through, out of back handspring, double back. Unfortunately has to step out of bounds, but a front through is so impressive. Back handspring layout, showing that triple series, stays on the beam. So nerve-wracking after seeing your teammate almost fall on that. We head over back to the Seawolves on floor here. Switch leap, back layout step out. She does not let herself wobble. Oh. that double pike. My knees kind of hurt watching that a little bit. It's okay. It seems like the power of Taylor Swift is pulling her through here. Round off 1.5 dismount and another locked leg landing. Oh my goodness. These girls need to bend and protect their knees. We see finish her routine here on floor. Ariana D'Souza finishes strong, but unfortunately that landing on her second pass took a little bit of a knee bend there. That's going to be quite a bit of a deduction. Hopefully Seawolves won't have to count that. Angelica Labat went for ISU on bars, hit that landing, hit her routine as usual. Stick crown is in her hand. Nothing new from the senior.
Let's take a look at Angelica's finish here.
Double layout. And it looks like that. I didn't get to see it, but you see that smile on her face. That is not her dismount. She is supposed to do a full in. And it looks like her toes kind of screamed the bar there, so she just improvised and did a double layout.
Can a judge tell, do you think?
No, a judge can't tell. Because
Really?
that is still technically a dismount. We saw so many gymnasts from Western Michigan compete that exact dismount just planned. But Angelica Labat was just able to improve when she realized she was a little too close to the bar. And we'll get the same value, so. And you know what? She still gets the stick crown because technically she still did stick that dismount. And you
no one said you had to do the correct dismount to get the stick mount. You just have to stick the landing on it.
No one said you had to do the skills you were training all week.
Yeah.
You could just pull something out completely new.
Well, J Mac is going to be competing next on bars in exhibition. And falling off the bar there.
Unfortunately, has to take that fall on her toe hand. That's been a release that she's always struggled with. But we'll get to see, as you can see, J Mac does not hit 5 feet, and she just jumped to the high bar by herself. She goes into that beautiful overshoot there, hits that handstand, very clean here. Chip cast handstand, hits that handstand, no problem there. She is a power gymnast, but has the cleanest lines on this event, double layout, sticks it perfectly.
What a finish.
What a routine for J Mac. I've never seen her compete her routine so clean. And like I said, usually gymnasts will have coaches help them up to the bar, but she just jumped right on up, under 5 feet. So we get to see that power shown on floor when ISU gets there. So we head over, we have Jada Niles on floor for the Seawolves. For Western Michigan on B, we have Sarah Moravansky. Looks like we're getting close to rounding things out here. Front handspring. Front double. Has to take a small step back there. Switch leap half, straddle half. Sticks it clean there. Shows off those 180s. Got some dance going on simultaneously on both beam and floor. Going to the dismount here for beam, round off 1.5. Look at that height on that dismount. Sticks it no problem. What a great routine to finish out there, or get close to finishing for the Broncos. That is the beam routine they needed to get back into the competition after counting that fall on bars. We head onto the floor here, round off 1.5. And it looks like her legs gave out after that 1.5, going into the front full. Still decided to go for it anyway, because at that point there's really just no stopping and you have to follow through. That's usually the safest option. But definitely a fall that you don't want.
Kaylee, I know the camera didn't catch it, I don't think, but the judge had the same reaction you did when she fell there at the end. But
oh no, just a little bit of a flinch.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like her legs kind of gave out there, which happens randomly.
Well, Kaylee, does it hurt to fall on the floor like that?
I mean, you tell me, Brayden.
I mean, it has a little give, but I wouldn't imagine it's all that soft. It's got to have enough. It's got to have enough support to, you know, do the routine and not feel like you're just in a bouncing house too. So
Definitely.
it's definitely gonna hurt a little bit at least.
It hurts a little bit, but I don't think gymnasts, especially when they're in their routine, I don't think they fully register that pain. So you just kind of gotta move on. Sometimes it'll hurt after all the adrenaline has worn out, and then your body's kind of hurting. But especially on bars, when you miss a release and you keep practicing that release and you fall again and again and again, it does hurt a little, but it's just all part of the process. Head to beam here. Front pike toss, beautifully done for the Broncos here. Full turn, beautifully done. McKenna King up, back handspring layout, sticks it perfectly. Looks like she is exhibitioning today. We have a split jump into that split ring. She breathes into her dismount, dances it out. Excuse me. She is actually anchoring as we cartwheel, back layout, gainer full, sticks the dismount. Very, very well done for McKenna King there. As we head into floor, it looks like we have, for the Seawolves, we have an exhibition. It looks like she didn't get all the way around on that punch, Rudy. But we're having a little, taking it back to the 70s a little bit here with this routine.
Yes.
Beautiful jump done there. Shows off that 180 on that straddle jump. Gets all the way around on that switch full. I'm going to say, I think this might be my favorite.
It's
my
great.
favorite routine from tonight, but also because I'm a huge, I do love ABBA, and I do love the whole disco era of the 70s. As we go into a front layout, punch front full there. And the choreography is just so fun. And that's gonna round it out for the Seawolves there for their floor rotation. So we head
And now
to
moving to beam.
Head to beam for an exhibition here. Back handspring layout. Sticks it with no problem. I love a triple series on beam. When it's done correctly and when it's done directly on the beam, it just looks phenomenal. Because sometimes in the middle of a triple series, your feet will get a little bit crooked, the whole thing will be off. But when it's done just directly straight and no toes come off the beam. She heads into her dismount there because she had enough bonus from that series. Front layout full, sticks the landing. That's definitely a routine that will get the coaches thinking about lineups next week. And that's another thing that I love about exhibitions. It gives yourself an opportunity to prove yourself and prove what you deserve. Heading back to floor for the Seawolves here. Another exhibition. As we wait. The Redbirds are all done with their performances and their exhibitions, so they're just chilling out until they head over to beam next.
Still holding off for the judges here.
Again, it seems like there's a little bit of like a scoring dispute happening, or there was a little bit of a scoring miscommunication. Heading back to the beam 2, where it looks like the Broncos will have another exhibition going. I think I said this before, but I really do like the pink hair tie.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice little add and a nice point to what we're here supporting, while also showing off a Leo that they wanted to wear tonight.
Kaylee, Western Michigan doesn't seem to have new leotards for this. Is there any difference when you get a new leotard, you'll say, for a special event that you've got to kind of break it in a little bit?
Honestly, I don't think I ever had that issue. I mean, we do sometimes, or what I have done was our coaches would make us do a practice meet with the new leotards to kind of break that in a little bit.
Okay.
But I never saw it as like a true problem, or I would say breaking in running shoes is harder than doing that.
Yeah, that's what I would have equated it to. Is it like running shoes?
Gymnasts do have to break it in new grips on bars, though, and that is an entirely different thing that could take days. So we head into floor here. Front handspring. Rudy, jump out of it. Great power there. Looking at beam. Back layout, step out, slight wobble there. And she's going to dance around. Going into a hitch kick. Splits side there. The split jump. Going into that series back handspring layout, stakes it perfectly, no problem there. Seawolves get their leaps all the way around, so they will get credit for that. Heading into the dismount here for the Broncos. A cartwheel 1.5, takes that step forward. Doesn't look like she needed to, however. It looked like her center of gravity was pretty much correctly over her legs, but still, what a great exhibition for the Broncos there. Round off 1.5, punch layout there on the floor. Chest was a little bit far forward, a little over-rotated on that first pass. Still managed to get her body around for the front layout and end the routine strong.
And that should have been Maria Jose Prieto from Morelos, Mexico, that finished that off.
As we're looking at, waiting for the scores to update here, I think it's going to be a close one. I think that Anchorage did unfortunately have to count they didn't count a fallen floor, but they counted something that was a little close, which was that one double pike where her knees buckled in a little bit. I think they touched the floor, which could technically count as a fall. But the second rotation concludes, and I'm excited to see where all these teams go heading into the third.
Yeah, and it's a little bit hard to compare so far because not everyone's done all of the same parts of the rotation yet. But to this point, Illinois State leads, and we will be right back with a quick highlights here. We'll be right back on ESPN. Arena, and we are ready for the second half here shortly, but Alaska Anchorage here. Let's take a look at their upcoming schedule. They're staying here in the land of the corn, Northern Illinois, as a quad meet on the 25th. UC Davis is after that on March 8th, and a couple days later, it's Sacramento State. So a lot of travel, a lot of time on the road, and we'll see how they handle all that here shortly. Let's take a look at how the second rotation turned out for some of these teams, Kaylee.
Yeah, we saw a lot of exciting things in the second rotation. There's Carly Hawksworth starting strong with that Ginger overshoot. We have Anchorage here with that whip into 1.5, something you don't see quite often in college gymnastics. That beautiful front full dismount, the chest completely up there as we see freshman Claudia Lessing go into her final pass of a double tuck there. And one last dismount from the Broncos, gainer full. Beautifully done.
And so, people still warming up. We got, looks like Alaska.
Angelica Labat's dismount on bars. Round off 1.5 there to round things out for the Broncos on that beam rotation. A little shuffle back. And of course, the Rudy that was shown for the Alaska Seawolves.
So still getting some warm-ups on here. Western Michigan gonna be on the floor, and they're prepping for that. Also some prep on vault. That's gonna be Alaska Anchorage there, and Illinois State is gonna be on beam here for this third rotation. First off, it's Alaska Anchorage on vault that we're gonna look at here with their lineup, and leading it off for them, it's gonna be Montana Fairbairn, Claudia Lessig behind her, Avery Tillman's third, Silge Hildebrand fourth, Brooklyn Kopsack fifth, and then it's Maddie Murphy to round out their vault lineup. Next for floor, it's Western Michigan. Amanda Gruber gonna be leading things off for those Broncos, and let's take a look at the rest of those as well. Donna Catherine Roy is second, then Danny Petruzik, Cassie St. Clair's fourth, Peyton Murphy fifth, and Allie Shop rounding that out. And next and finally in the third rotation, Illinois State's gonna be on beam, and the Birds starting out with Maya Robinson. Then Leah Davis, Joy Ziegenfelder, Ali Lau, Madison Kipp, and Angelica Labat. So those are your lineups here for rotation number 3. We're halfway home here on ESPN Plus. It's just here getting ready. And Kaylee, anything you're excited about here for the third rotation? I know that this Western Michigan team here on the floor, they're very phenomenal in that department as well. But just anything you're looking forward to here for the third rotation?
I'm honestly looking to see how Western Michigan kind of comes back. They looked a little bit, they did have a solid beam rotation, but there were just some little mistakes going on there. They had to count that fall on bars. They looked great in warm-ups. I'm just really hoping to see them make a comeback here, and I'm just curious to see what they do. And same with ISU, they had a little bit of some mistakes there on vault with those steps back and those hops back. And they have quickly become a good beam school. They used to be mostly known for their vault and their floor, but slowly climbing up there in beam rankings. So it'll be exciting to see what they do as well. And it looks like we're heading into floor now for Western Michigan, starting out with Amanda Gruber. She starts off here. She's a graduate student for the Broncos from Riverside, Illinois. She's in her home state right now. She heads into her first pass. Her career high on this event is a 9.825. So she does a great front layout there into a front pull. Now we have Maya Robinson up on beam as well for the Illinois State Redbirds. As she prepares for her series there, back handspring layout, slight wobble, does it well though. She was voted last week's Coach's Choice Award, so what Julia Heiner has now. And you see Gruber go into that round off back handspring, double back there as for her second pass. And unfortunately, Robinson has to take a big wobble on that full turn. Usually does not happen. She's usually very cool, calm, and collected up there on beam. Still looks like she is, but just unfortunately a little bit of a big wobble there as she goes into a hitch kick side or a cat leap side aerial. Her freshman year, she competed on vault and beam. Sophomore year, mostly on bars. As she goes into that gainer full dismount, sticks the landing, and she stayed on the beam. She was a starter for the lineup. Unfortunately, though, has to take that wobble. And going back to the Broncos.
Donna Catherine Roy, the junior, going to be next from Rock Hill, South Carolina. But first, let's take a look at the first vault.
In a vault from Montana Fairbairn there. What a unique vault there. As Yurchenko full on into that pike. I also did see someone on the Seawolves training a front handspring vault, which I haven't seen in a while, so I'm really excited to see her when she ends up vaulting. You see a lot of Yurchenkos in college gymnastics, so it's cool to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, this Western Michigan squad had a couple good routines so far that are really changing things up in terms of what their routines are.
Heading into floor now, we have Donna Catherine Roy for the Broncos. Leah Davis up for the Redbirds. Claudia Lessing up on vault. Lessing's gonna do a Yurchenko tuck full. Takes a step back there. Just the tuck version of the layout that we have seen. Has a little bit too much power there, however. A little bit of leg separation in the air. Still gonna be a great vault that Anchorage will hopefully want to count. Looking at that huge double pike there to open things up for the Broncos. Leah Davis is getting prepared to mount the beam. Leah Davis is a sophomore from Missouri. Her freshman year last year, she competed in all 11 meets only on beam, so this is her event as she prepares here for her series. Back handspring layout, huge height there, sticks it perfectly. Not a bent leg in sight. Donna Catherine Roy on the floor here, the junior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Last year, her sophomore year, she competed in all 12 meets on bars and floor. So we have two gymnasts up right now where these events are their specialty. Leah Davis, switch leap, switch half there, beautifully done. Front through round up, back handspring double back for Donna Catherine Roy. In the back there, we see Yurchenko layout from Avery Tillman's front toss there. From Leah Davis, Avery Tillman's vault. Nicely done, not as high difficulty as we've been seeing in this competition, but very cleanly done.
Should be Joy Ziegenfelder next on beam.
Round off 1.5. Sticks the landing. What a great routine there for Leah Davis. I don't think I saw a wobble once, besides that slight little hop on the dismount. What a great routine to start things off, really.
Take a look at that vault performance there.
From Avery Tillman. Round off, Yurchenko layouts. Very clean, again, not the highest difficulty, but very clean form within the air. Looking at that cartwheel dismount, cartwheel 1.5 from Leah Davis. It looks like she took a little bit of a hop forward, but that would be very minimal deduction there. Great
Next
work.
Up, it's going to be Silge Hildebrand for vault.
Looks like she's doing a front pike. Great job there. She added a half twist, going to be a 10-0. There's great potential there for that 10-0 start value. But again, front handspring vaults are very fun. We don't see them all too often. Great work there from Silge as we head into floor here for the Broncos. Danny Petrosek up.
From Rockford.
On up, back handspring, double back. I guess she's not too far from here.
Exactly.
Probably knows the area. She goes into her next pass. Front handspring, front full, front layout. Left leg landing. Seeing an odd amount of these today. As we head to beam for ISU. See Joy Ziegenfelder up. Unfortunately, it looks like she took that wobble on the front aerial, so she's gonna try it again for that connection. Front aerial, back layout, sticks it perfectly. For unfortunately will have to take minor deductions for just by nature of doing another element in your beam routine. And she's going into a Lucan and unfortunately has to take that fall. Petrusek up on the floor here, round up back handspring, double pike. A little bit too much power there. Tumbles off the floor.
Falls for both, including Ziegenfelder, who won the beam championship for the MIC with a score of 9-9 in those conference championships.
It's so unfortunate because that Lucan is so beautifully done by her in almost every home meet that we've seen this year. Heading on the vault for the Seawolves, another Yurchenko layout by Brooklyn Popsack. Very clean, very well done. Again, not the highest difficulty, but the Seawolves are putting out some low difficulty clean vaults. Great stick there from Joy Ziegenfelder. You can just see it all over her face though. The only thing she's thinking about is that fall, unfortunately. ISU is going to have to try their best to not count that. Heading back to vault for the Seawolves. Maddie Murphy up next.
And here's that last beam dismount.
A swing gainer full. Sticks the landing. Very well done. A slight look of relief there after just being off the beam, being done with your job for the day. Maddie Murphy up. The freshman from Liberty Lake, Washington. Front handspring, front tuck with a half twist. And that is such a fun vault to watch. And her coaches and her teammates are so happy with that. Very cleanly done.
And so next up on floor from the beautiful Plainfield, Illinois, it's the junior Cassie St. Clair.
She's gonna be heading into her first pass here. Round off 1.5 punch layout. Very, very clean. Again, another gymnast not too far from normal here. Her sophomore year, she competed in all 11 meets on vault and floor, so this is really where she shines. And she scored a 9-9 5 times during that same season. No reason she can't do it again tonight as she goes into her switch half. Straddle full. Makes it all the way around, a little short of that 180 whatsoever. Heading into our next pass here. Up on beat for ISU, we do have Allie Lau as well.
On split screen, final pass.
A punch front double gets huge height. Allie Lau going handspring, back play out, step out, triple series. Perfectly done. Great routine there from Cassie St. Clair, and the start of a great one, as it looks like, for Allie Lau, the freshman from San Diego, California. Goes into that gainer, takes a slight step back. Very clean, and that's what I love about her beam, and that is why she consistently makes beam lineups every week.
Let's take one more look at that from the floor.
That punch front double. And look at that wraparound. You could just see that distinct set and twist into the double there.
Here's another one from Lau.
Allie Lau's gainer full. Has to take a slight step back. It looked like she really had that stick though. Nevertheless, a great routine from her. She is just so clean on that event and so solid. Heading into floor, we have Peyton Murphy. She's a graduate student, also from Illinois, Carol Stream.
And last year, she was named MAC Gymnast of the Year. A big jump there.
Gets great height, like you said, Braden, on that double back. Her senior year, she competed in all 12 meets in the all-around.
Scored a 9.9 on floor last week.
Front Rudy there to a straddle, gets huge power. It really just looks like she has springs in her legs with the amount of height that she's getting on every single pass here. She tied the program floor record with a 9.975.
Madison Kipp, meanwhile, on the beam.
Madison Kipp also has a gorgeous triple series that unfortunately she's not going to do tonight. Great double pike there to end things out for Peyton Murphy. So hard to end things on a double pike. A very difficult floor pass to do with not a lot of energy. And unfortunately, I did broadcast jinx myself on beam with that triple series. Looks like she has to take a slight wobble there on that beam pass or on that lead pass. So unfortunately, ISU will have to count that wobble from Madison Kipp as she does a round off 1.5, sticks the landing. She looks happy to be off the beam, but I am missing that triple series quite a bit there.
Let's take one more look on that finish, Kayla. You were talking about it.
That round off double pike. Unfortunately, she has to take a slight step forward.
And now lastly, it's Ali Shop to round out the official performances for the Broncos from Algonquin, Illinois.
And I don't know if you saw, Braden, but Peyton Murphy got a 9.95 on that event. So if she's not the one that's rounding things out, and she just set a new career high tonight, and that is exactly what I expect from someone who is the anchor of this beam lineup. Look at that huge back layout out of that Rudy.
And Shop following again, Davison now. This one just so close to beating her teammate last week. Seems like no matter how good this one will be, it might be a little bit too tough to beat again, but still good so far for her.
Front layout, front double. I know we've moved on from the front pass, or from the first pass, but I'm still thinking about it because it was just so beautifully done, and the height on it was just incredible. Wow, and honestly, the only thing I could say about this Western Michigan floor rotation is wow. They went out there and they performed.
They really did, and Illinois State has a tough act to follow when they hit floor. Moving back to them on beam, though. This is where they sometimes like to make up some points as well. And for those Redbirds, it's gotta be Angelica Labate.
And this is the one person that you want in this position right now. She knows how to perform, and she knows how to perform under pressure.
And the Broncos liking the score they saw as well for floor. Either that or they're just responding to their fans.
Lavant does a great front aerial. Back handspring layout, sticks it perfectly. The redshirt senior, who's nominated for one of the most prestigious awards that honors the most outstanding gymnast in the country. She won the all-around last meet with a score of a 39.225. Going into an exhibition here for the Broncos on the floor exercise. Lavant's preparing for her dismount. Back handspring step out, 1.5. Great height there, great landing. She has so much height. She just comes out of that 1.5 with no pike at all whatsoever, no chest angle. Sticks it perfectly straight bodied, gorgeous. Great opening pass too for the Broncos, that double tuck. switch leap. For Jeté, 1.5. Doesn't look like she quite got that all the way around. But she'll go into her last pass here now. A front Rudy straddle jump. Looks like she twisted almost immediately off the floor. I didn't see really a clear set there, but hey, it worked. She made it all the way around, chest up. It was clean. And she goes into her last pass, front full front layout. Sticks it. What a fun routine there.
Let's take another look at that Angelica Labat dismount, Kaylee.
And like I was talking about with that chest angle look, she just completely opens up there for the last half. Showing that last pass from that exhibition, front full, front layout. Very controlled landing there. Gets to show off that artistry.
And speaking of exhibitions,
1-4 ISU. Handstand, back handspring layout. Reese Gralla up, the freshman. He goes into that wolf turn. Beautifully done. I think I talked about this the last time she was on beam and did that, but there was this era of elite gymnastics where everybody was doing these wolf turns on beam, and I was a little sick of them at the time, and now I kind of miss them. She goes into her switch leap split jump there. Another interesting fact is that if you're in a home team, great side aerial, no problems there, sticks it perfectly. But a fun fact is that if you're in the home team and you get to be on beam, you get to pick your own beam song.
And picking PYT from Michael Jackson, very popular on TikTok.
She goes into her dismount here. Cartwheel 1.5. Beautifully, beautifully done there. It looks like Reese Gralla is happy with that routine as an exhibition. Looks like she might be in lineups next week because that was really, really solid and really clean. And unfortunately cannot go towards that final score.
And now let's take one more look at that dismount, Kaylee.
That cartwheel swing through 1.5. Slight hop forward. What's amazing is that she has to get all that power to make that entire twist from that single swing through from the cartwheel.
And so with that, we've finished 3 rotations, Kaylee, and Illinois State still holding on. We got a little bit more exhibitions, but still just waiting on that to get going. Looks
like everyone just kind of relaxing right now, waiting, yeah. And it looks like we might have Julia Heiner up.
Either that or J Mac, who's talking with her coach as well.
But it is definitely J Mac.
Yeah. For a minute, it did look like Julia had the body language of someone ready to go, but yeah.
I did not see J Mac at the very end.
It's gonna be J Mac, yeah.
And there we go, that mount that she fell on. The last time we saw her, she completely nails.
She's perfecting that throughout the season.
J-Mac has worked her way into every exhibition on beam, fighting for a spot for that lineup. Back handspring, layout, stakes it when looks like she was about to wobble there, but finished before she could. And that is another thing that we saw her fall on in an exhibition. She has stuck both of those things so far. She just has her leap, which she did just now, showed off that 180, and her dismount left coming up here. And that's gonna be a back handspring step out, 1.5, stakes the landing, and that is a perfectly stuck routine from J-Mac there. A slight nod to a hopeful lineup spot next week.
Let's take one more look.
Back handspring step out there. A little bit bent legs into the entry and a little leg separation on that dismount. But that stick, it's definitely something they'll be talking about in the upcoming weeks at practice.
And so a phenomenal finish there for Jay, and you know, like you said, gonna be in good shape for any sort of lineup decisions here. So some more highlights here from the third rotation.
Angelica Labat's beam here. That double pike on floor there for the Broncos. Nice finish there for them.
Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch. You never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
This is Formula One! This is Formula One!
Back here at CEFCU Arena, Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto, and let's take another look at an upcoming schedule. The one team we haven't taken a look at yet is the hosting Redbirds. They'll be in Northern Illinois as well, alongside Alaska Anchorage for that quad meet on the 25th, then Nebraska on March 3rd, and then after that, it's UC Davis, so 3 straight road meets for the Birds coming off of this home meet. And so, Kaylee, let's take one more look at what we saw in the previous rotation.
For sure, look at that. Just taking a look at that pass there for the Broncos. Front layout, front full. Runner back handspring, double back there. Maya Robinson dismount. Gainer full. Beautifully done. I think that was Yurchenko layout on ball for Anchorage. That front toss there from Joy Zeigenfelder. We head into floor here for the last little bit of highlights. Front through to a double back. Gets her chest barely up there. Maddie Kipps ran off 1.5. Stopped perfectly. As we head into the Broncos. First pass there of the Rudy to the layout step out.
And so let's take a look at what we've got upcoming in the fourth rotation. First for the Broncos here. They got Danny Petrusik leading it off, and then Hannah Milton second. Gigi Singh third, Sarah Morinovsky. Then Amanda Gruber fifth, and Peyton Murphy last. Now for Alaska Anchorage, they're going to be finishing off on bars tonight. Haley Perkins leading it off for them, then Emily Walker. Jessica Johnson is third, Jada Niles fourth, Claudia Lessig fifth, and Ariana D'Souza is last here. And now for those Birds, they've got a lot to match up to from Western Michigan's performance on floor. But Sarah Wabi gonna lead it off, then Leah Davis, Alana Laster third, Caitlin Donovan fourth, Angelica Labat fifth. And after a phenomenal showing in exhibition, it's time for some official performance on floor for Jay Mack. So, Kaylee, last rotation, and this is where it all counts. We now know pretty close between these Birds and Broncos, only a couple points, a couple moments difference, differentiating the two. And Illinois State needing to hang on to the lead they have. It's going to be vault for Western Michigan, and here they go starting it out for, you know, just more practice, warming it up. But Kaylee, you know, anything that we should watch for in terms of how to figure out who's going to finish this one off?
I'm actually a little surprised that the gap between Western Michigan and ISU isn't closer, or I'm surprised that after the performance that Western Michigan had on the floor and the performance that ISU had on beam, I'm surprised that they're not winning right now. But that just goes to show that ISU will just come back on the floor like they always do, and hopefully we'll see if they win it, or we'll see if Western Michigan makes a comeback on the vault.
And we will see that, but not yet, so we'll take a quick break. You're watching gymnastics on ESPN+.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
ESPN+ Originals.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the close.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the close. Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the close.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for. Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Captain, ever since you discovered Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character.
This is Formula One!
The Stanley Cup Final on ABC and ESPN+.
Back here at CEFCU, Sarah Wabi off to a quick start here on floor.
Sarah Wabi starting things off for the Redbirds on this event with a front handspring front double. Great height on that. She's a junior this year. Her last year she competed, her sophomore year she competed in every meet for the Redbirds on floor. The last meet, or in their first meet against Iowa State, she scored a 9.825. So we see there for Western Michigan on vault, we have Abby Singh with the Yurchenko half. Not the most difficult, but very cleanly done. So we're looking at Sarah Wabi going into her next pass here. Front handspring Rudy into a punch layout, step out, no problems there. Looking at Haley Perkins up on the uneven bars for Alaska. Trying to kip cast. Blind front giant into a double back. Great landing there as she starts off the rotation for the Seawolves, and as Sarah Wabi starts off the rotation for the Redbirds. Solid starts all around here.
And on vault, leading things off for Western Michigan, it's Hannah Milton, a freshman.
We're seeing Murphy now up on vault. Yurchenko full, cleanly done. Not as much power as we've seen from the Redbirds. But taking a look at that controlled landing, that good form in the air, making that rotation all the way around. Definitely one that the Broncos want to count as we head back to bars for Anchorage. Great work there.
Here's another vault performance. It's Cassie St. Clair, the 4th in the lineup.
She's going to do
next, and here's the replay of the previous one.
We're heading into Leah Davis here up on floor. We have Emily Walker up for Anchorage coming up next on the uneven bars. She waits for her routine to start. As Leah Davis starts her floor routine. Emily Walker under the bar mount, kip cast handstand, blind half into a piked Jaeger, and unfortunately let go of the bar a little bit too early there. Has to take that fall as we head into the floor round up back handspring double back from Leah Davis. And we have Asuka Haro, who took 1.5 in the back there from Western Michigan. Only reason why I caught my eye back there is because I haven't seen Asuka Haro done it in a little bit. So really cool to see that. Leah Davis continues her floor routine, and Emily Walker has to unfortunately take that fall. It looks like she was connecting into another release move. It's really hard to get that distance, that perfect distance with the bar. If you're connecting, Leah Davis nails that second pass. Front full. She prepares for her next pass here. Emily Walker preparing for that dismount. Giant full toe hand into a front dismount, front tuck. It's a good amount of distance away from the bar. Solid landing. Leah Davis has no problem there on that third pass. Front full, front pike. Great height on both elements, which is very hard to do. And she's going to end things out there just like that for the Redbirds, who are having their floor party. And this is where they always come back. Always on the floor exercise. That home advantage.
Yeah, it's just so tough to be able to come back when Illinois State already leading heading into their best event.
Cassie St. Clair now up on the vault round off. Yurchenko full, takes that hop back. Looks like she had a good amount of rotation there. Got a good amount of distance from the vault to her landing spot. Lots of power, and that's definitely one that the Broncos want to count. It was clean, it was powerful. She got all the way around. We're putting up some solid vaults here as we take a look again at Leah Davis's pass here. That round off 1.5, front full. So beautifully done. It's Cassie St. Clair just waiting for her score now here. We have Alana Laster up next on floor for the Redbirds. And she just has such a fun routine.
Yeah, and third in the order for ISU is Laster. Here on the 3 box now, everyone getting ready to go for their respective teams. It's first.
Sarah Morvansky up on vault. We have a beautiful Ginger overshoot done by Jessica Johnson for Anchorage.
And Morvansky, the previous performance, she got her score. Haley Faulkner is the one that just went on vault.
Great front handspring double there from Alana Laster. Great stick there from Johnson. Johnson did have a little bit of leg separation there on that Ginger. Just to get a little bit more swing into that overshoot, but nothing that can't be fixed in next practice. Nothing that can't be targeted and focused on. As Alana Laster dances into her next pass and gets ready for it. Front handspring Rudy, back lay on step out. Gets amazing height on both. Just so rare to see. To get the same height or even more on your second element there. gets so much bonus from those 2 passes. She gets to end her routine after 2. And it is so clean and it is so powerful every single time. Definitely a gymnast the Redbirds know that they can count on for a solid floor routine.
So with Haley Faulkner, she got a 9.825 on her vault. And now let's take one more look at that final pass.
Handspring Rudy, back layout, step out. Look at that air in that second element.
And next up for the Birds is going to be Caitlin Donovan, but she's still prepping here.
It looks like Western Michigan is done with their meet. They ended on the fastest event, which is vault, so they're done the quickest. They might have a few exhibitions or maybe not, but otherwise they're good to go. Up on bars right now for Anchorage, we have Jada Niles. She does a blind half to a piked Jaeger and unfortunately has to take that fall. So Anchorage will be counting a fall tonight. Nevertheless though, hers and Jessica Johnson's piked Jaegers were very beautifully done. Their legs were glued together, toes pointed. It's just getting that timing of the release of the bar to be at that exact distance to be able to catch it and even go and have enough swing into your second element. There's just so much that needs to go right there in that release. Caitlin Donovan getting ready here on the floor for the Redbirds. Jada Niles kip casting handstand into a very cleanly done overshoot. And she's gonna head into her dismount here. Giant full into double back. Has to take a few steps back there. Caitlin Donovan going into her first pass round of back handspring double back. Lands with the chest a little bit low, but still manages to finish. Does a early pass here, switch half, wolf full. Great height on those. And I am just a little bit bummed that Anchorage is going to have to count a fall on bars because that score does not reflect the beautiful form and all the lines that I've seen today. Caitlin Donovan tumbles and gets ready for her last pass here. The senior, South Lyon, Michigan. Last year competed every meet for the Redbirds on vault and floor. Front full, front 1.5. Loses a little bit of control on that landing there. Wolf 1.5. Ends the routine. Solid routine for the Redbirds. And as always, Caitlin Donovan will perform. Next up.
So let's take one more look at that last pass here for Caitlin Donovan here in a second, Kaylee. Pretty strong showing from her.
Front layout, front 1.5. See, she loses control a little bit on that landing, so there's going to be a slight deduction there. But great height, makes it all the way around on that twist. Next up for bars for Anchorage, we'll have Claudia Lessing, the freshman we've been talking about. At least according to the lineup, she will be going. I don't actually see her. Oh wait, I do see her. She is having a pep talk with her coach. Getting her mind ready and into the zone after her past two teammates fell. Lots of pressure on this bar routine. So you don't count. Enough pressure to the point where they might be counting 2 falls or 3, which would be detrimental for the Seawolves. As you can see, Angelica Labat has, or as you can hear, Angelica Labat's got some fans behind us. As we have Claudia Lessing, great Tkachev there. Beautiful legs glued together. Into an overshoot, Angelica Labat, front double. It's dangerously close to that out of bounds line. It makes it all the way around. Claudia Lessing going to go into her dismount here, into a full in. Beautifully done. And that, her form in her bar routine, I'm obsessed with it. Those lines, her legs, her tap. She does bend her legs a little bit in the tap, but otherwise it's just such a clean routine. Speaking of clean, bad pass by Angelica Labat. I didn't see a deduction there. Front full, front layout. She goes into her next one here. Last pass. Handspring. Front Rudy lands it no problem. And now you can see why she is nominated to be one of the best collegiate gymnasts here in the country.
So first we want to take another look at the bars performance again here.
Claudia Lessing's beautiful. Full in. Finds her feet. You see Angelica Labat's front handspring. Front Rudy to end things out for the Birds. We head into bars with Ariana D'Souza, sophomore from Fairfield, California. She's gonna start.
Labat with a 9-9 on floor.
D'Souza has that toe on there. Catches the high bar. A little bit of a leg separation. Leg separation kind of a little bit everywhere. Those toes aren't pointed all the way. Ankles aren't as glued together as we've seen from Lessing. Nevertheless, she's hitting her handstands. Double tuck. And unfortunately, over-rotates it a little bit too much. So Anchorage is going to have to count 2 falls on bars, which is definitely a spot you don't want to be in, especially when you're competing against teams like Illinois State and Western Michigan.
And so finally, it's going to be J-Mac from Kansas City, Missouri,
who's coming off an amazing beam performance exhibition. Going into her first pass here. Round off back handspring, piked full in. So much power out of that. Like I said, I can't stop thinking about on bars when she fell. She just jumped to the high bar by herself. Shows off that flexibility as well on that straddle full. This is a new routine for J-Mac this season. Last week she had the current MIC performance of the week for her 9-9 against Bowling Green. She is the MIC champion on this event currently holds that title, and rightfully so. Look at this pass front through and a back handspring, double pike. So much height on both. Some gymnasts will run half the floor to get that height on a double back, but J-Mac is able to get it from a front tuck. Into the floor routine right there. And that is the reason she is the floor anchor for the Redbirds.
Definitely have a night, J-Mac.
We'll take a look at one of J-Mac's passes.
Yeah, just one more look at the J-Mac pass.
Front through. Round off back handspring, double pike. And that is, besides the landing where her chest was a little bit down, that is a textbook double pike. Every coach's dream is to have the first pike lower than the second. So it keeps rising as she's flipping. Extremely hard to do. Exhibition here on bars for Anchorage. Tack salto there. A little bit of a leg separation in the air. A little flex feet. Just gonna kip past handstand, misses the handstand a little bit. Giant full, beautiful. Hits that handstand, double back, takes a slight step back. She definitely nailed the timing on that giant full.
An exhibition for ISU.
We have one of two exhibitions here. Joy Zeigenfelder right now, and then Reagan Hesterman up next. I was telling Braden before this that Joy's floor music kind of sounds like a car commercial to me, but I really like it.
Whatever gets her going.
Round up back handspring, double back, big hop back. Too much power. Must be all that adrenaline. And to get the bonus, a lot of gymnasts will end on a double pike to show that they have the energy capability to do so. Meaning they have to start with the double tuck, which is the easier option with more energy.
Peyton Murphy, for example, ended with a double pike.
Yes, yes she did. Round off 1.5 front layout. Over rotates on that 1.5. You could see it in her face. Had to kind of whip that front layout around. Still made it to her feet. As she dances into her last pass here. There she goes. Round off back handspring, double pike. No problem there. You can hear her fans in the back. ISU's got a little fan crowd behind us going right now. Watch a few of her highlights before Reagan Hesterman performs on floor. Those are the little fans we're talking about. They're sitting right behind us. So it looks like with the scores, it looks like
yeah, it looks like it finished it up.
On top.
And we're still trying to figure out whether there's one last exhibition here. It looked like Reagan Hesterman was getting herself ready, but yes, I think that's what they're doing. They're still prepping her, getting herself ready. She got a talk from Coach Conkling, so I think she's going to be ready to go.
It actually looks like the judge saluted her, and they're actually still preparing the sting mat with the tape.
So still not ready. Hesterman from Firth, Nebraska.
Last year was her first year actually seeing the competition floor. She did an exhibition. She's been battling injuries.
It's their second straight meet of competing in exhibition here at CEFCU this year as well. But still, yeah, just getting everything prepped here for Reagan.
Sorry, Brandon, it's hard to hear with the fan crowd that has accumulated behind us.
Nebraska must travel well, Kaylee.
She begins her floor routine here. Hopefully gets a lineup spot in the future, depending on how she shows herself here. Preparing for her first pass here. Right, as we're going to her first pass, front handspring, front layout. Gets so much height on both of those. No problem there. And now she's going into her second pass, or her lead pass here. Wolf 1.5. Dances her way across the floor. Going into another leap here. A switch side. Wolf full, and she's battled hip injuries. See her do a switch side and hit that 180. Really is something here. You can see her whole team gathering there in the corner as she goes into her last pass. Round off back handspring, double back. No problem there.
Her team loves it.
I think Sarah Wabi just jumped up 2 feet there in the corner. She did fall on that last meet. And hopefully that gets the coaches thinking. of a floor lineup spot for Reagan Hesterman.
Yeah, much like how J Mac improved her routine in exhibition, Hesterman definitely improved as well here today.
And as you can see, her team is just overjoyed with that performance. It's more than just a score here.
And so with that, we'll be back here shortly with the conclusion of this one and post-game ceremonies. Enjoy some highlights as we go to break. We'll be right back on ESPN. Welcome back to Sefke Arena. Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto, and we have our final scores here tonight. Let's take a look at those. And Illinois State finishing this one off with a win. Just gonna be kind of a close, but honestly not quite as close as we thought. Illinois State kind of finishing this one off pretty strong, and they are going to finish with the win here tonight. Western Michigan not gonna make it another win in a row, but Illinois State keeping things rolling here in the MIC. So let's take another look at some of those highlights from the course of the game, Kaylee.
For sure. We have that giant full double back there from University of Alaska Anchorage. A nice Yurchenko full. Huge hop back, but it's just from all that power. Round off 1.5. Punch front full there from Joy Zagenfelder. Double back dismount. Stuck landing. Beautifully done. We head into Alana Laskers. Front Rudy back layout, step out there. And of course, Claudia Lessing's full in double back. Perfect landing there as well.
And so with that, either the fans were also watching the highlights on our screens, or they're just excited about the performance from the dance team in front of us. But I'm assuming the latter would be true. But either way, Kaylee, we'll be here just ready for the post-game ceremonies here shortly. So Kaylee, let's we still got some time. Let's take one more look at all the highlights from all this game.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Braden. I do remember that worm from that Avatar. Looking at that side aerial there. Mia O's Yurchenko full. Takes a little bit of a hop back there. Of course, Beautiful double layout dismount from Western Michigan. Alana Laster's Yurchenko 1.5. We do a double layout there, beautifully executed from the Broncos. And a leap series from Anchorage.
And so now, after that, we look like everyone's about ready to go for these post-game ceremonies now, Kaylee. So we'll take a listen in on that.
In third place with a score of a 9.8 from Illinois State University, Alana Laster. In second place with a score of a 9.825 from Western Michigan, Hallie Faulkner. And tonight's vault winner with a score of a 9.85 from Western Michigan, Cassie St. Clair. On to the bars in a two-way tie with a score of a 9.775. In third place from Western Michigan, Abby Singh. And from Illinois State University, Julia Heiner. In second place with a score of a 9.825 from Illinois State University's Sarah Wabi. And in a two-way tie for first place with a score of a 9.85 from Western Michigan, Peyton Murphy. And from Illinois State University, Angelica Labat. On the beam, we've got a two-way tie for third place with a score of a 9.75 from Alaska, Anchorage, Jessica Johnson. And from Illinois State University, Angelica Labat. In a two-way tie for second with a score of a 9.8 from Western Michigan, Peyton Murphy. And from Illinois State University, Leah Davis. And tonight's balance beam winners are in a two-way tie for first with a score of a 9.85 from Western Michigan, Amanda Gruber. And from Illinois State University, Allie Lau. Whew, all right. This is a big one. On the floor in a four-way tie for third place with a score of a 9.85 from Western Michigan, Amanda Gruber. From Illinois State, Alana Laster. From Illinois State, Leah Davis. And from Illinois State, Sarah Wabi. In a five-way tie for second place with a score of a 9.9 from Western Michigan, Allie Shop. From Western Michigan, Cassie St. Clair. From Western Michigan, Donna Catherine Roy. From Illinois State University, Jay Mack. And from Illinois State, Angelica Labat. But in sole possession of first place with a score of a 9.95 from Western Michigan, it was Peyton Murphy. In the all-round with a score of 38.475 in third place from Alaska is Claudia Lessig. In second place with a score of a 39.30 from Illinois State, Angelica Labatt. And tonight's all-round winner with a score of a 39.325 from Western Michigan, Peyton Murphy. In the team score, in third place with a score of a 189.725, it was Alaska Anchorage. In second place with a score of a 194.90 from it was Western Michigan. And tonight's winner of the team competition with a 195.550, Illinois State University. Big thank you to all of the fans for supporting Illinois State University Redbirds. The Redbird Gymnastics team will be competing at home again Saturday, March 16th at 4 p.m. against the Lindenwood Lions for our Senior Day alumni meets. Fans, don't forget to head up to the concourse where your Redbird gymnasts are going to be joining you.
So one more look at our highlights here tonight.
And we hope to see you at our next meet.
Kaylee, it was really just a really nice performance in total for both of these teams. Illinois State winning this one, as well as Peyton Murphy winning the all-around. It's the first time in 4 meets that Alana Laster has not won the all-around as a Redbird, but still her team as a whole wins it. She gets second. But really just a really good performance between two teams competing that were both very talented, and then an Alaska Anchorage team that's continuously building themselves up to get to a higher level, and they very much improved tonight as well.
Definitely, and again, I'm a little bummed that Anchorage had to count those 2 falls on bars. ISU's with a win with a 195.5, and Western Michigan barely losing. We knew it was going to be close, and we see that now with only a near 6/10 difference.
So for our producer, Peter Babb, as well as our entire Redbird Productions crew, I'm Braden Fogerson alongside Kaylee Sugimoto saying so long from Normal, Illinois, where ISU wins as a team and Peyton Murphy wins the all-around. To watch this entire meet on replay, as well as other productions from our family of ESPN networks, log on to ESPN.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.